everybody, welcome back. This is Justin with I'm Your Aid Astrology. This week we'll be reviewing a little bit of extended version than I normally do, just because there's just so much action going on. I feel it warrants the extra attention. So we'll be going through the 9th of February through the 20th of February. So congratulations, you've made it through the month of January. Gosh, that month was filled with intensity. For many of you, it might have felt like you lived one entire year in the first month of the year. Like I mentioned on previous videos, I basically white-knuckled my way through that month, and there's a lot of reasons for that. We had some pretty intense squares with Venus and the Sun, squaring Uranus, and then also a pretty tough square with Mars and Neptune. And really, in a nutshell, it's like the equivalent of being at a masquerade ball, and everyone takes off their mask, and they were completely something different than you thought. Neptune is delusion, illusion, seeing what you want to see with people, circumstances, and relationships. Hidden enemies. So everything that did happen or could have happened did. And a lot of ways when you have some of this Aquarius energy, Aquarius needs to kind of find out things for their own. They might be able to get advice from 4, 5, 6 different friends, but they have to come to things on their own. And a lot of times with especially fixed energy, you need that shaking or that shock to break you free from where you are. And I've always had a love-hate relationship with Uranus, as it's extremely disruptive. However, it will liberate you, and it'll put you in a place you weren't expecting, but it's normally always a better place. And then last week, I did the video from the 7th, or from the 1st to the 7th. I really wanted to isolate that week because we had some pretty significant ingresses. So Mercury ingressed into Pisces, and Venus ingressed Aries. And Venus happens to be a conjunct Chiron, and it still is. So like I mentioned before, the energy is kind of letting up a bit, but this ingresses and the conjunction of Chiron, I titled my last video, Peter Pan finally catches his shadow. And I feel like before we could start to really dive in and harness some of the more positive energies that are waiting for us, there's a sense of shadow work that needs to be involved. Venus in Aries is very direct. I love you, take me now. It's like, and then with the Mercury element, and then some of the happier sextiles from Uranus, it's like winning a lottery ticket and then jumping in the car and driving through a stop sign, which could cause more problems. So so that week kind of give us like a little bit of a jettison, or maybe a little push of inspiration into the right direction, but immediately we're hit with some stoppage with the Mercury Retrograde, which will be in place. We're in the shadow period right now. That'll be in place on the 16th. But also, Mercury is not in its best place in Pisces, so it's kind of very foggy. It's like we have some ideas, but we don't know how to put it into form. Aries wants us to go, but then we have to stop. Jupiter is going to be in Capricorn for the year, so it takes more of a methodical, calculated approach to things. So where does that leave us now is the full moon in Leo. And so this is going to be interesting. So in some ways, it means coming to a culmination point or completion in a lot of ways. Things that we started a year and a half ago, we might get some of the fruits showing of our labor But also there's this infusion with Leo of a passion, desire. So what I think is kind of happening is before we could kind of move on with the next part of our journey, what these energies are asking us is kind of to tie up our loose ends. Mercury in Pisces is, even though it can be foggy, it'll allow you to access your dream state in higher realms. And what I mentioned last week is take the Jupiter and Capricorn energy and create a vision board for yourself and look at it before bed every day. That's a really good way to take this energy and slowly integrate it into your higher awareness and your consciousness, so it has a better ability to start working for you on the other side, so you can put it into form. So now a part of the culmination period is sometimes there are some endings, and it all means something different for you depending on what house that you're experiencing this in. But I'll give you an example. For me is I started a marketing business several years ago, and really kind of took off with wings about 1.5 years ago around this time. And one of my largest clients has decided to go through another direction, which was kind of devastating in a lot of ways. I have a lot of history with them. I helped build their company 3 years ago from the bottom. So I have a more than just a financial investment in them. I have emotional investment with them. And we've kind of come to a culmination point earlier in the week, first week of February. And, when stuff like that happens, even though I know what's going on with the energy, it kind of leaves you a little lost, not sure exactly where to go with Chiron and the Venus conjunction in Aries. It could kind of be a blow to your self-worth. There is a tendency, to have that reactionary response, feeling of not being enough. So, those are kind of some of the side effects to, I believe, this full moon energy. However, there was kind of some excitable energy with Mercury sextile to Uranus. So I think while this culmination point's happening, we're kind of getting a jolt of inspiration that is maybe taking us to another direction. And for me, I'm kind of more shifting from marketing to doing more astrology, which is my real passion. It's what I enjoy for most. It's what probably one of my first thoughts of the day, and probably one of my last thoughts. So I've been putting more emphasis into writing, doing these videos for all that is willing to see them. So in a lot of ways, the universe is really interesting. From a shamanic view, sometimes you have to remove something from your life in order to make space to receive something better. And I think for a lot of us, I think this is what this culmination point really stands for. So full moon, it's really going to be igniting our passions. We also are going to have a few things supporting us during this full moon. Let's talk about the retrograde period. So, let's say that, we have this culmination point. We also have Mars, and I'll go in real time. It's going to be moving into Capricorn. And it's going to be in a trine with the full moon. And also, around the same time, we have Jupiter and Neptune are going to be into a sextile. So I think what's happening is we have this culmination point. We have a small jolt of unexpected communication that kind of lights us up in some way. And then, you know, Jupiter and Neptune, it'd be a great time to talk to a life coach, talk to an astrologer, a tarot reader, a psychic, or if you have the faculties, you know, go on a shamanic journey of your own. And I think there's going to be some clarity that comes through that process. And now that there's all this open space, Mars in Capricorn is a great position to be in. Mars in Capricorn, people are very successful. They get shit done. I'm close to a few people in my life that have Mars in Capricorn, and you know, they plan their month, you know, several months in advance. They have a long to-do list, and they feel very accomplished when they check all those boxes. They're really motivated by goals. So I think, so what's happening is that we clear some of this dust and we want to take the next action. But this Mercury retrograde period is asking us to pump the brakes and to use the Jupiter and Capricorn energy to be a little more diligent. The Mercury retrograde period is to go back and tie up loose ends, to dot your I's, cross your T's, repurpose, redo. You know, maybe if you're changing gears in a certain vocation, you know, you could take some of that knowledge and apply it to the next venture, as I'm doing, is taking my marketing background and using it for astrology to create something new and different for people. So the important part is not to have the horse go in front of the cart. I think it's a really good time to really assess where we're going and take this next 6 weeks and build both a physical, emotional, and mental foundation for what's coming ahead. Because I think with all the energy moving forward, and the sextiles and trines we're going to be seeing soon here in a month, it's going to, because we've been in such a dead space and we feel that liberation, it's the equivalent is like the tortoise and the hare. This isn't a sprint, this is a marathon. So, you know, write your business plan. You know, go back and have some important conversations. You might, with the retrograde period, you might have people from the past come back into your life for a very good reason to kind of help you on your next steps. You might get divine inspiration with Jupiter and Neptune. So all these things really fueling you. But if you take the extra time to put things in place the way they're supposed to, I feel you'll have a much more impactful result than getting a little too ahead of the energies. And even though it's going to be a little frustrating because you want to take some steps forward, but just understand that everything happens in divine timing. And what I've always found about the universe is that, you know, our timing and the timing of the divine tend to be two different things. So, you know, the good news is that things are going to lighten up. There's going to be a lot of jolts and passion reigniting into your lives. Those of you that have met anybody in the Venus and Aries period, see it for what it is. It's going to be also very hot and heavy early on. But typically with Venus and Aries, it's not something that's typically long lasting. So, you know, those of you that are, you know, dating or maybe have newly met someone in your life, you know, see those situations for what it is, stay in gratitude, understand this person came into your life for a reason, sometimes just for a season, sometimes a lifetime. But this wouldn't be the time to, you know, really get your hopes up in that regard. It just might be the confidence boost that you need for the next steps ahead. But ultimately, this infusion of passion is going to put us in such greater place. And, you know, even I could already feel the energy lighting up just in the first few days of the month. So I hope you really enjoyed this. I'll be tuning back with you guys on the 21st, and we'll get a little bit more into the positive energies. Again, recap. Those of you that feel kind of foggy or in a daze, not sure where to go, it'd be a great time to step outside yourself and get a second opinion. Find a trusted astrologer, a tarot reader, or if you have the abilities to do it yourself. Let the divine guide you in your next steps. Again, Jupiter and Capricorn, in this period especially, go to a place that's safe, and envision how you want to feel. Envision the opportunities you want to have in your life. Envision the relationships. Envision yourself in your full power and your glory and your full authenticity. The last number of years, the whole reason of Saturn and Pluto is breaking down things that are misaligned, and Saturn's going to come behind Pluto and build something better and more long-standing. Take your vision boards, look at it before bed, let the energy just really sink in, and start using these energies to your favor. Again, with Venus in conjunct Chiron, use some of the Piscean energy that's here to be compassionate with people. Understand that the people have wronged you, have brought chaos into your life. On some conscious level, you made that agreement with them to help you in your evolutionary process. Quite often, though, now that we have this passion and you want to be very Capricornian with it and reach that zenith point, always remember that it's not about how you get to the top of the mountain. It's the legacy you leave behind. And so take this, temper these energies, go through the month with a higher awareness, and always stay in a place of gratitude, because that's the right attitude. And if people do cross you, say, hey, thank you. How wrong can I be? How can I get better than this? It's even appropriate sometimes to give gratitude to the challenges that we face in our life. Because when you do that, you'll find that you'll handle life with more ease, grace, and glory. And when you do face hard times, you could settle it with more ease, and you can see things from a 40,000-foot view. And challenging times of gratitude are equally important to the good stuff. So anyways, thanks for tuning in, everyone, this week. I'm Justin. I'm not your coach. I'm not your guru. I'm not your guide. I'm your aide. I'm your angel in disguise. I help you empower you.